vinyl friends and vinyl community, it's Brian from Brian's Vinyl Records, and it is Tuesday. Well, there was a holiday yesterday, so that means it's time for another installment of Vinyl Editions. So check out what I did this week. So I went last weekend and I stopped in at one of the local record stores here closer to my house, and usually I stop in there every month or two to check and see what kind of new inventory they have. Great little place called Ramblon Records in Shakopee, Minnesota, and I noticed a couple things there that I needed to pick up, and one of them was new sleeves for inner sleeves. So they had these there. These are vinyl style inner sleeves, and they're very similar to obviously the MoFi sleeves that I use most of the time. So I thought I'd give them a try, especially at the price point that they're at. He sold them to me for $10 a bag of 50. So I bought 2 bags of these. I'm going to give them a try. I don't know if they're any good, but they're archival sleeves. I think they'll be just fine. I'll let you know later. I'll probably do a little review on those sleeves to tell you what I think overall of the sleeves compared to the MoFi. Now, I have used other ones in the past. I used the Invest in Vinyl version of the MoFi sleeves, and those were great. I thought they worked very well. I thought they were built just as well as the MoFi sleeves, a little bit thicker on the back end, which I liked as well. And so I've used those as well. I usually get the MoFi sleeves because that's what my down the valley store that I go to a lot carries, and they sell them for a decent price, so I usually buy that. But if these work out well, I may switch to these because the price point is so much better. So I'll let you know later what I think of that. But while I was there, I noticed an album in their news section. So I usually don't peruse the news section there because he doesn't buy a whole lot of new albums to stock in his store. It's mostly I go there for the used ones, but I figured I'd scan through them real quick over lunch, and I found this, and I thought this was kind of cool. This is Cinderella Live at the Key Club. I've seen this posted on other Facebook groups and things like that as album, and people really dig it. So I saw it, and I've never seen it in the wild for sale, and I know they go for about $30, and he was charging $30, so I said sure. I picked it up, and it's really cool. It's a great little live set that they did, a nice little album, and it comes on a really nice purple splatter vinyl, which I think is just super cool. So I picked this up. I thought it'd be kind of a neat thing. It's a numbered version. There are 1,000 copies. This is number 516. So a cool addition to my collection, I thought. I love Cinderella. I saw them in 1999. This was recorded in 1998, so basically the same version of the band on this one that I saw live. So pretty cool. I went Amazon warehouse shopping again and found a couple of cool things. The first one being this. This is a 7-inch single of Joy Williams from her Front Porch album. It is the title track, Front Porch. And on here is a B-side that's not on either of her albums, so I thought I'd pick it up. It's called This Side of Heaven, that she wrote, and I'm really excited to spin this and give it a listen. So I picked this up. This was on the warehouse deals as a like new item, and I think I paid $3 for it, so worth the price. It's in great shape. Really nothing that I can find wrong with it at all. Another one that I picked up, I haven't opened yet, but it's still sealed, and really the only problem I see currently, hopefully nothing wrong inside, but is there's a little crease here. But this is Chris Cornell's Euphoria Morning, a great album. I've had this on CD for a long time. It's been in my Amazon wish list for a long time, and I just haven't ever pulled the trigger. But when I saw it in the warehouse as a very good warehouse item, and basically just said some minor damage to the sleeve, and really it's just a creased corner here, it looks like. And so I think I can manage with that. As long as the record inside isn't damaged, I'll be happy to have this as my copy of Chris Cornell's album. So very excited about that. And then while I was on Amazon, I also picked up this album. This is one that I didn't know anything about this artist until very, very recently. I saw one of my groups, Needle Drop on Facebook, had a bunch of fans of this artist, and they were posting a lot of her albums. And so I went and I streamed her latest release, and I just absolutely loved it. It's fantastic, bluesy rock, good. She's a great guitar player. This is Samantha Fish, and this is Kill or Be Kind. A really, really good album. If you've not heard Samantha Fish, I've seen her advertised a lot on Instagram. It pops up on her feed. This is Rounder Records, who I follow. So I see a lot of the artists that they promote. and she was one that they promoted pretty heavily when this came out last year. And so I listened to it finally, and I really liked it. So I ordered this while I was buying the Amazon warehouse stuff, and I'm super pumped to spin this. It's a really great album. I highly recommend it to anyone who loves just bluesy rock, good music. She's an amazing guitar player. And last but not least, this week I wanted to show you, we took the kids to the movies yesterday, and the movie is attached to a mall which also has a Barnes & Noble, which is the one I frequent. So I decided to go quickly run through their racks to see if there was anything I wanted at 50% off. And I found this. This is kind of cool. This is the Scream scores. So Scream and Scream 2, the scores here for the films. So I've seen this before, and I thought, kind of an interesting concept, but never really gave it much thought. But at 50% off, I think it would cost me $12. So worth it to me to give it a listen. I like scores for something, so we'll see how this one turns out. But I love these movies. I'm a big fan of the Scream movies, so why not give the music a try too. So there you have it. That is my updates for this week for vinyl editions. Not a whole lot this week, which is great. I'm still kind of recovering from the Barnes & Noble 50% off sales that have been happening since the day after Christmas, and spent a lot of money on those. So to come back with just a small amount was probably the right move. I'm looking forward to what's coming next week. I have an album that's going to arrive later today that I'm super pumped about, that I have been wanting forever and ever and ever, and just never bought it. It went out of stock. I almost bought it from another website, but waited, and it finally came back in stock, so I just decided to buy it. So that's coming today, and coming Thursday is a super, super exciting find. It's a grail for me on my list. It's a grail for a lot of people. I've seen it only in the wild one time, and at the time it was record store day, and the guy was asking $100 for it, and I was already dropping a bunch of money on record store day. I was not going to spend $100 on one album. That's way above my limit on what I pay for an album. It's somehow this version of the album, which was released several years back now, has come back in stock on Amazon, and I jumped at the opportunity to buy it. So that's coming this week. I'm super excited to share that with you next week, so stay tuned for that. Hey, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Any comments on the sleeves that I bought, if you've got experience with those, any comments on the albums that I showed today, please leave them below. I love interacting with everybody on this great vinyl community here on YouTube. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and if you enjoy this, like I said, give it a thumbs up. Thumbs up helps a lot. So thank you for watching, and until next time, keep spinning vinyl, friends.